Imagine you're standing on the edge of a precipice. One wrong step and the fall seems inevitable. But what if that step has already been taken? Adultery is not just a betrayal, it's an earthquake in the world of karma. Today, we will uncover a secret that the Buddha spoke about in whispers, how one act can set off a chain of events 7 lives ahead, and how to break the cycle. Today, we're talking about something that remains invisible but burns stronger than fire, the karma of adultery. The ancient text Dhammapada says, "We are the result of our thoughts. From thought comes action. From action comes destiny." But what happens when thought becomes treason? When action breaks trust like a vase that can't be put back together? The answer will change the way you think about love, pain, and freedom, and it's not a metaphor. In this video are 3 keys to the door you're afraid to open. 1. Why even forgiven adultery leaves scars on karma. 2. How to turn pain into the power that Zen masters talk about. 3. The story of a monk who burned down his temple for love, and what became of him 20 years later. Are you ready to hear the truth? The Buddha taught, attachment is the source of suffering. But what happens when attachment becomes poison? When someone you trusted becomes a stranger? Soon you will learn why infidelity is not the end, but the beginning of the journey. How karma punishes not only the one who betrayed, but also the one who is betrayed. What to do if your heart is broken and your soul is screaming. Why? This video is not a judgment. It's a map for those who are lost in the dark. Turn on your notifications. We are beginning. The Buddha taught, we are what we think. Everything we become is born from our thoughts. But what is born out of the thought of betrayal? Suffering that, like an echo, comes back to us years later. It's not just mysticism, it's the law of cause and effect. And today, you will learn how to break that cycle. Are you ready to hear a story that will turn your understanding of faithfulness upside down? The story of how one monk who broke his vow of celibacy found the path of redemption in tears of contrition, and about why even the most bitter mistake can become a seed of wisdom. Don't close the tab. The next 15 minutes will change the way you think about love, karma, and yourself. The Buddha said, anger is a burning coal that you throw at another, but you burn yourself first. Treason breeds anger. Anger begets karma. Karma breeds new pain. But how do we break the cycle? The answer is in the teachings of the 4 Noble Truths. 1. Pain is inevitable and betrayal hurts. 2. The cause of pain is attachment to a person, illusions of an ideal. 3. Pain can be ended by releasing the grip. 4. The path to liberation is the 8-fold path. A young samurai cheated on his wife. When she found out, she silently placed his sword on the altar and left. 10 years later, he found her in a temple. "Why didn't you kill me?" he asked. "Your sword had already pierced your soul. Why do I have to do it again?" she replied. Karma never sleeps. The samurai became a monk, but even after 30 years, his dreams were full of shadows of the past. You will ask, why does the one who is betrayed suffer? Is it fair? In the Lotus Sutra, there is a parable about 2 travelers. One fell into a pit. The other tried to help, but fell too. The suffering of one becomes a lesson to the other, says the Buddha. Treason is a pit, but your reaction determines whether you fall in together or build a bridge. Now is the first key. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It means to stop carrying a knife in your soul. Zen Master Ikkyu wrote, Cut the water with a sword, and it will flow again. Pain is like water. Trying to punish it only wastes your power. Focus not on who hurt you, but on how to heal the wound. One day the Buddha saw a house engulfed in flames. The owner shouted, "Who set it on fire? I'll kill him." The Buddha said, "Put out the fire, or it will burn you before you find the culprit. Treason is a fire. Put it out, not look for the arsonist." Second key, your karma is not a judgment. Even if you have cheated, there is a path to purification. In Tibet, there is a ritual called karma burning. Monks write their sins on paper and burn it while reciting mantras. But true purification is in the act. Like the man who, after cheating, spent 10 years building hospitals, making amends. His wife never forgave him, but his soul found peace. Third key, pain is a door, not a wall. The Heart Sutra states, "Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form." Betrayal seems like the end of the world, but behind this illusion lies a chance. Like the woman who, after her husband's betrayal, opened a school for orphans and found her calling. "He broke my heart to make light grow out of it," she said. One day, the disciple asked, "How do you survive betrayal?" The teacher went out into the wind and shouted, "Can you hear the echo? That's how pain goes away when you stop shouting into the void. Holding on to pain is like drinking poison and hoping the other one dies." Now let's put the keys together. Forgiveness, stopping the fire. Action is the purification of karma. Pain is the path to the light. Like the story of the man who, upon learning of his wife's infidelity, went to the mountains and returned a year later saying, "You've awakened in me the man I was afraid to be. Thank you." But what if you were the one who cheated? The Buddha would say, "You are not a sin. You are someone who can stop being one." The story of a merchant who, after cheating, wore a stone in his chest for 20 years, and then built a bridge over the river where he once nearly drowned. Redemption is not suffering, it's creation. One wave is afraid to crash against the rock. The other says, "You're not a wave, you are the ocean." You are not your betrayal, you are the one who can go deeper. In the end, karma is not a judge. She is a teacher, and her lessons are tough but fair. As the Zen master said, if you're bitten by a snake, don't chase it. Look for the antidote. The Buddha taught, hate doesn't stop with hate. It ends with love. But how do you love someone who has betrayed you? Love here is not for the person, but for life. Like the gardener who waters the flowers even if they are wilted. The story of the monk who every morning put a flower at the house of the wife who cheated on him. Years later, she came back. "Your flowers reminded me that I was worthy of love," she said. "Stand in front of a mirror. Say, I see your pain. I see your fear. I choose freedom. Break an egg and say, a new life has begun. Rituals are not magic. They are bridges between the past and the future. What if you are the one who hurt? The Dhammapada says, drop by drop the jug is filled. Your good deeds will fill the jug of karma, like the man who, after cheating, secretly helped the homeless every day. 5 years later, his wife accidentally found out about it and said, "You've become the man I once loved." Koan, a disciple, asked, "How many years does it take to purify the karma of adultery?" The teacher lit a candle. "See the flame? It burns away the darkness in a second, but it takes a lifetime to light it. Your journey begins now. One step, one breath, one spark. Karma is not a punishment. It is a mirror. In a Zen parable, a disciple asked his master, "Why does the one who has caused pain suffer?" The master held a mirror up to his face. "Do you see the enemy? It is yourself, trapped in the cage of your choice." Treason is not just an act. It is a crack in the foundation of your soul. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha says, "Hatred does not cease with hatred. It is terminated by love." But how to love when you are the cause of someone else's pain? The story of a merchant from ancient India who cheated on his wife and then lost everything: his wealth, his children, even his shadow in the sun. It wasn't until he stopped running from the consequences and fell to his knees in front of her portrait that the rain washed the dust from his heart. Imagine a river. A stone thrown into the water creates waves that crash against the shore long after the stone is gone. So it is with adultery. Even a fleeting affair leaves ripples in destinies. But karma is not a judgment. It's a road. In Japan, there's a custom. A couple who have experienced adultery are led to the Bridge of Winds. There, they must stand with their backs to each other and shout the worst of it, the truth. If the echo returns, the marriage lives. If not, the wind has carried it to the mountains. But the echo is karma. It always comes back. Question: what did you put in it? Buddhism teaches suffering is not born of loss, but of attachment to illusions. Did you think adultery would bring freedom? Did it put you in chains? You dreamed of passion, you got ashes. But there is a way out. Look into the eyes of your pain. Like the monk who meditated at the grave of his beloved for 12 years until he realized you are not crying for her. You are crying for yourself, for the one who is no more. In the Lotus Sutra, there is a story about a robber who killed 999 people. When he met the Buddha, instead of cursing him, the Guru handed him a flower. "You can become the gardener of your soul," he said. The robber dropped his sword. So it is with treason. Even if you are bogged down in the mud of deeds, the seed of enlightenment will sprout through the cracks of despair. But it takes courage to stop digging. Zen master Ikkyu, known for his eccentricity, once told a student, "If you stole bread, feed the hungry. If you have lied, learn to be silent so that silence becomes truth." The karma of cheating requires action, not repentance. Instead of hiding the lie under a rock of shame, turn it into a stepping stone to the light. How? Start with one word: "I'm sorry." Even if it's only heard by your reflection in the mirror. There's a ritual in Tibet called untying the knots. A couple who has experienced betrayal takes a silk cord woven on their wedding day and slowly untangles each knot, repeating, "Where there is anger, let there be clarity. Where there is fear, let trust blossom." But the hardest knot is not between the hands. It's in the throat. In what was never said, the Buddha reminded us, you cannot walk the path for others, but you can light their torch. If you have been victimized by adultery, your choice is not between revenge and humility. It is between the chains of the past and the freedom to let go, even of what seems unbearable. Imagine holding a red-hot coal to throw at your abuser. Who gets burned first? And what if it was you who cheated? The story of the monk Sonam, who broke his vow of celibacy, shocked the whole monastery. The master didn't expel him. Instead, he gave him a broom. "Sweep the temple. When the dust inside is gone, you will realize where your purity has gone." For 3 years, Sonam swept the floors. One day, he laughed when he saw that the broom had broken, but his hands remained clean. This is how forgiveness is born, when you stop being afraid of your own shadow. Karma is not fate written in stone. It's clay in the palm of your hand. Yes, adultery has crippled the mold, but can't you mold it again? There's a Buddha statue in Cambodia that was chopped in half by war. The monks didn't glue it back together. They put lotus flowers between the halves. Now it's a shrine, a symbol that even brokenness can become beauty. Zen parable: a young samurai asked an elder how to atone for cheating on his wife. "Bring me water from the well that has gone dry," the sage replied. The samurai tried to do this for years. One day he returned empty-handed, but with eyes full of tears. "Now you understand," the elder smiled. "Sometimes you can't fix things, but you can fill a new well." Does it seem to you that the consequences of adultery are eternal? The Buddha taught, even the longest night ends with the dawn. But you have to open your eyes to see the sun. In 15th century Korea, a woman named Myung planted a garden of cherry trees after her husband's betrayal. "They bloom for only a week," she said, "but the roots cling to the ground for centuries." Her husband returned 10 years later, but they didn't become a couple. They became gardeners. Fear is a prison. You either shiver in a corner or you find the key in your pocket. The key is responsibility, not to the one you betrayed, to yourself. Like the father who, after cheating on his wife, knelt at his daughter's bedside every morning, not praying, just listening to her breathing. One day the girl put a stone in his palm. "Here, Daddy. It's as heavy as your eyes." That day he cried, and the stone became lighter. Zen says, the sky doesn't scold a bird for flying. It gives the wind to fly on. Yes, adultery leaves scars. But a scar is not the end. It is the beginning of the story you choose to tell. Choose words of wisdom over words of pain. Like the two who met years later at the old well. They didn't drink from it. They tossed coins and made a wish. Together, but apart. If this video touched your heart, it means there's a spark of your own story in it. Karma doesn't wait for your mistakes. It waits for your decisions. Remember, Zen masters teach that the best way to predict the future is to create it. Click subscribe right now. Let each of our videos become for you the very wind that fills the sails on the way to yourself. And if this material has changed something in you, share it. Perhaps it is your liking that will be the very stone that will change someone's river of destiny. Remember, even a broken heart can beat in the rhythm of the universe. Until we meet again in the silence where answers are born.